Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday's Best. I trust that you've had a great weekend as always, and that you're ready to rock and roll tonight as we move on through the month of July. Time is going by so quickly, so whatever you got to do it now. You can't keep procrastinating or postponing. And as we said last week and the week before, you can't keep making excuses. Excuses don't make money. Excuses don't make things happen. And people that make excuses don't have as much success. All right? Want to know that somebody can hear me, see me? Hey, Gloria Moore. All right. Gloria, you bring a lot to the table. You're always on. You always respond to my messages on Facebook, and I really, really, really appreciate you. And the magic question is, have you paid yourself? And seems like you understood the assignment, and I'm so glad that you did. Hey, Gloria Lukey. Gloria, I think you got what I sent to you earlier. All right. And so it's good that you can hear me, see me. And last week we talked about the power of five, the power of what $5 can do if you save it consistently. Now, if you're not saving at least $5, you're missing out. You're working really, 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 really hard and long, or you're retired, and perhaps you're just not spending your money in the right places. So I asked you to find a way to save $5 a day. And if you can do that for the rest of the year, you're going to have about $800-900. And if you do it all next year, you're going to have close to $2,000. All right. So it is very important. Okay, Gloria, I got you. Gloria Lukey. Hello, Olivia. Welcome, welcome. Again, we're talking about the power of five, reviewing the power of five. Did you find 5 people? Could you think of 5 people that you could count on if you were in a financial crisis? Did you find 5 people that you could share your dreams with? Because you can't share your dreams with everybody. Everybody is not wishing you well. And so it would be better kept under your hat until you do it, because they're going to dare you to do it. And some of us can take the dare, and that's all it takes for us to just go ahead and push through. For others, it's discouraging because you don't expect that punch to come from somebody that you think is for you. And they may be for you, but they just don't see the vision. So have you got those 5? And did you save at least $5 this week? So I asked you to say, got my 5. And in either of those categories, or maybe even in another category. But if you were able to identify 5 people, if you were able to save a minimum of $5, then you got your 5. All right. So the power of 5 is very, very significant because it adds up. It really does. So stop with the excuses. Hey, Marva. So tonight we're going to talk about a plan. Have you got a plan? What's your plan? Let me see it. And the reason I say let me see it, hey, Diane Jackson, and you paid yourself. Great, great, great. Like when you're in school, and I know you all are not in school, but we're learning. All of us should be lifelong learners. And the teacher says, take out your homework, or let me see your homework. Well, or the doctor, when you go to the doctor and they want to get your vital signs, they say, roll up your sleeves, or, do whatever, a urine sample, or they're going to take your blood pressure, or they're going to take some blood. So What's your plan? Let me see your plan. And in order for me to see it, you may see it, but in order for me to see it, it needs to be written. And so, just to share with you, only 1 out of 4 Americans actually have a written plan. 1 out of 4. 25% have a written plan. So the other 75% is either not planning properly or planning to fail, or they're going to fly by the seat of their pants. So don't let that be you. Write down the plans that you have. And if you know the plans that God has for you, write them down. Visit them often. So let's talk about a plan. If only 1 in 4 persons or people actually have a written plan, that's why so many people fail. So many people fail. If you don't have a written plan for your finances, you don't have a written plan for what you're going to do over the next 3 to 5 years, you don't have a plan when you go in the grocery store if you don't have a list. It's not enough to say, I got to go out and run some errands. Plan it out, especially with how expensive gas is. Plan it so that you go in a circle and not zigzag all over the place. You could probably save your $5 by doing that, right? So, how do we win the battle over debt? How do we win? Debt does not have to define your future. There are a lot of people that get out of debt. So don't count yourself out. And they don't start with a ton of money and paying off all their debt. And the people that actually do it that way, a lot of times they get right back in debt. So there are some people out there that are debt free, but those people have developed a plan of action, of things that they're going to do. And they're going to know if they're making progress, okay? So stop reacting to your debt and begin managing your debt. It's personal. Your debt, you incurred it. If you want to get rid of it, you have to start acting like you're going to get rid of it. You have to have some written plan, something so you can check off and say, done. I'm making progress, okay? So how do people fall into debt? How do you fall into the hole? And then, you fall in a big hole, which I pray none of us do. You break something. Or you're down there yelling, hey, get me out, get me out. Throw me a lifeline. So how did you fall into the hole? How did you get into so much debt? That's where we start off. Finding out how we made the mess so we can clean up the mess. We can't run and hide, or the fact that we're down in the hole, just pull the dirt on us and bury ourselves. No, we want to dig our way out of debt. So, with that being said, why do people fall into the debt trap? Well, they say there are 2 ways. Some debt is a result of unexpected events. Life happens, unexpected events. Something happened that you did not expect to happen, and it took every dollar that you had in your emergency fund. But you can regroup from that. That's one way we fall into debt. The other way is debt builds up slowly. Slowly. You may not be quite aware of how deep you are until you're too deep, and there's still hope. There's a lifeline. I'm one of your lifelines to tell you how to get out of debt. But you have to want to do it. And you have to stop some of the bad habits and start some of the good habits. So, common causes of debt. Have you ever thought about that? How would I feel to be debt free? And since I'm thinking about how I would feel, how did I get myself into this mess? And it's different for each of us. Some of us, it probably could not have been avoided. I mean, stuff just happened. And you had to use the money you had to change your situation or change your life. So I'm going to name a few common causes of us falling into debt. And I want you to, hey, Mary Winstead. Mary, I tell you, every time I pick up that pillow that you gave me when my husband passed, with all the different sports he played, and the little pocket in there for the obituary to stick in there, I think about what a clever, what a meaningful gift somebody could have, because they're going to have it always. So I really appreciate that. And that's been more than 5 years ago. And I took that pillow down yesterday and was looking at it. And I really appreciate it. It was very thoughtful. So common causes that call us to fall into debt. Living beyond our income. Living beyond our income. What could I do to handle my money better? Living beyond my income, meaning that I'm using something else. I don't have the money, but I'm spending the money. So what's causing you to fall into debt? Hey, Andrea. Another reason, high interest rate credit cards. It's a pothole that you need to try to avoid. If you're going to use a credit card and use it responsibly, try to get one that the interest is deferred and make that payment every single month. Number 3, medical emergencies. You know that there are people that don't have insurance, and we complain about, well, I don't complain about it because I rarely have a copay. But if you've got a copay, hey, Vicki, if you got a copay and you're already struggling, you know you need to go to the doctor to take care of yourself. So you got to plan ahead. You know, some of them, they want the copay the day you go there. Others, you can pay it afterwards. But a lot of people have financial issues or get into trouble because they don't have a plan and they don't have the extra money. Poor financial planning is how a lot of people got into debt. So how do we win the battle over the debt? Number 1, the first step toward financial freedom is identifying what caused the debt. What caused the debt? Were you getting stuff that you needed or stuff that you wanted? Were you impatient? You wanted instant gratification? Were you a compulsive shopper? Did you just lose track of how much you were spending? Something caused you to get in the position that you're in now. And to win the battle over debt, we're going to talk about 10 strategies. All right? You got to have a strategy. And your strategy should be on paper. On paper. And if your debts are a result of something that you could have controlled, then you need a strategy to stop being impulsive. If you spend until you have no more, you need to go shopping with less money. Or if you spend all the money you have, then you charge it on the credit card, you need to leave the credit card at home. All right? So you got to figure this thing out. And it's personal. Hey, Pastor Jamal, it's personal. So 10 strategies for winning the battle over debt. Now, if you had to go to war, you don't go to war thinking you're going to lose, right? So you go with a plan. And I might think that you would have somebody with you, but you would want that person to have something to fight with, right? Or you don't want to take a scary cat with you to the battle line. You want to take somebody that can help you win the battle. And if you're deep in debt and you're willing to work together with me as a team, then we got a chance to win. But if you're going to wimp out as soon as somebody says you should not have done that, or maybe you could have done that another way, or the way that we go in to win this war is we have to wait for the appointed time to strike. And so just like with a battle, you have strategies. If you want to get out of debt, you got to have strategies. And number one, it needs to be a written plan. A written plan. Now, when you go out on the battlefield, they've trained. So they got it drilled in their head. They don't have time to take a piece of paper out of their pocket and say, if the enemy's on the left, go right. If the enemy's coming at you with this, use that. They train for all different circumstances. So you have to plan strategies and you have to be ready. Because, like I said, only 1 out of 4 people in America has a written financial plan. So if you know that 75 other people don't have a plan, and you're among that group, and only 25% have a plan, you're like, okay, how's that working for them? How could that work for me? Do they have an effective plan? I'd like to see it. And remember, I said, show me your plan. Show me your plan. The only way you can show it, you could tell me, I may not get it because it's your vision, it's not mine. But if you show me and I can read it, then I can understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. So number one, face the numbers. None of us like to go to the doctor's office and they say, your blood pressure is high or whatever. But they use the instrument to check your blood pressure. And so they're going to write it on the chart. They're not going to say, oh, you came here a year or 2 years ago. What was your blood pressure? They're going to know because they have a written plan. And if it's a good doctor, they're going to talk to you about what you came in there, what your complaint was, or the reason you came to the doctor. Right, Mary? But they're also going to say, now here's what we need to do. Or are you eating a lot of salt? Or are you not drinking a lot of water? Are you stressing out? They're going to try to get to the bottom of why the pressure is high, other than white coat anxiety is high because you're in their office. But my point is, they're going to look at the numbers. And what do these numbers tell me? Well, you're going to look at your numbers, number one, in order to have some strategies. And you want to say, what was I thinking when I spent $1,000 last month? What did I spend it on? And so that's what you got to do. You got to face the person in the mirror. And that's you, because it's called personal finance. And you need to know your numbers just like you know your address. If somebody says, what's your address? You're not going to give them an address that you had when you were three years old or 3 years ago. You're going to give them your current address, and you're not going to have to think about it. So when it comes to your debt, here's an example of knowing your numbers. Okay? I owe Macy's $1,000 and the interest rate is 25% and the monthly payment is $100 and it's due on the 10th. So that's Macy's, $1,000, 25%. The payment is $100 and it's due on the 10th. So if you have a few credit cards and you know the numbers like that, it's going to bother you because you're going to want to get rid of some of that debt. So knowing exactly where you stand removes the fear and allows you to have a realistic written plan because you wrote it out. Now, what can I do about this? Right, Vicki and Olivia and Genevieve Burgess and Lavinia, and I see Sophia Bradley. So many of you are on. I appreciate that. So knowing your numbers is very important. That's number one. Number two, create a realistic budget. Give every dollar a purpose. You $5, you're $10, you're $20, you're $50, you're $100. Here's what I want you to do. I have a purpose and my strategy, my written strategy is to get out of debt. Now here's your role in that. Here's where I'm going to apply you. Here's where this dollar is going to be spent. And that's how I'm going to get rid of that $1,000 balance I have at Macy's. And then I can roll that $100 over into paying another debt. So again, know your numbers. Divide your income. If your mortgage is $1,000, your utilities average $300, your groceries are $400 to $500, you got 2 car payments of $1,000 together. You plan to save $150 to $200 a month. Your debts, including your credit card, your lawn care, getting your car wash, the hair salon, the barber shop, all that stuff comes to $500. Your personal spending is $200. Those are a lot of numbers to try to keep in your head. But if you have a written plan and you can look at it, you can say, okay, my mortgage is $1,000. That's not likely to change anytime soon. My utilities, what can I do to reduce them? I know I can do something about this $400 to $500 we spend on food. Transportation, can't do a whole lot. Finance the cars for 5 years. We just got it 2 years ago. We got another 3 years to go. So some things you can control. But if you don't put it on paper so you can see it, if you don't make it realistic, and unrealistic would be, I'm going to get out of debt. But that's all you say. I'm going to get out of debt. Well, that doesn't hold water because you still got the credit cards. You haven't changed any habits. You haven't identified something that's draining your account. So you have to be accountable. You have to be responsible enough, faithful enough to identify that I got myself in this and I can get myself out. Number 3, stop creating new debt. I don't have to say too much about that other than leave the credit card at home. Number 4, every week we say start that emergency fund. Did you find a way to save $5, the power of 5? By cutting out something, by not eating breakfast out, by not eating lunch out every day, not going out to dinner? Did you find a way to save $5 a day? If you did, that could be a good start to increase or replenish that emergency fund. Because it's real life, folks. I'm not going to act like it doesn't happen. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. But if you've got a storage unit and it's full of stuff and you're paying $125 a month and the stuff has been in there 3 years, 5 years, 2 moves ago, then you don't have to look for a way. You don't have to look far for a way to save $5 a day. You just have to make the decision and say, this storage was a part of the debt, monthly debt I had to pay, and so I'm getting rid of it. And that's going to help get me out of debt. Number 5, choose a debt that you want to pay off. Choose a debt that you want to pay off, and then set up a strategy plan. How I'm going to do it, when I'm going to start, how will I know I'm making progress? I declare on today that I'm going to pay off my Macy's credit card. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? That's what you need to do, is sit down and have a strategy session with yourself. You might want to use the snowball method. You might want to use the debt avalanche method. Sometimes if you see one debt, you got 10, and then you got 9, then you got 8, you feel great. Other people, they said, I want to get that big one, that Lowe's or that Home Depot that's 29%. That's the one I want to tackle. So you can do it different ways, but you got to choose a way that you want to get out of debt. What is your plan? Show me your plan, show me your actions, and then I can assist you. Number 6, increase your income. The best way to increase your income is spend less than you make. Spend less than you make. All right? You're the best asset you got. You are the best asset you've got. So, since you're an asset, you're supposed to be helpful. You're not a liability. So, the best thing you can do is be a believer. Be a believer. Thank you, Vivian. Vivian says, the colors you are wearing are so pretty. I appreciate it. I have bold dreams and I love bold colors. And orange and red, my friend, you know. And I tend to like a little bit of blue now too, royal blue. All right. But increase your income. I took 5 minutes. I said, 5 things. And I said, one of them is I want to clean out the closet. I want to clean the pantry, and something else I wanted to do. And in cleaning out the closet, I just started mixing and matching things that I never wore together before. So I saved some money. All right. So, you're your best asset. What are you really good at? Consulting, selling unused items, teaching, coaching. You can increase your income by having rental property, by getting a part-time job. And you take that extra income and you apply it to the debt. That is a strategy. So if your strategy is, and you're writing it out, I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to get out of the credit card debt I have with Macy's. I'm going to do it by December 1st. I'm going to sell the items that I have in my storage unit, I'm going to take the money that I would have paid, the $125 for the unit, and I'm going to pay down the debt. So if you started that in August, $125 you didn't have to pay to storage, and you did that August, September, October, November, and December, you're more than halfway there. And then if you're really good at something, all of us are experts at something. None of us are experts at everything. But you could teach or you could coach. Be a coach. Pastor Jamal, well, I'm not giving you any ideas of anything else to do, but I understand you are an outstanding basketball player. Some of you have been in banking. No doubt you can tell people a lot about budgeting or things that they can save, ways that they can save with their banking. But my point is, use your skills, your expertise at a counselor, a coach, a real estate agent, a good cook, an event planner. Those are ways that you could use, and they should be a part of your arsenal to fight the battle called debt and win. Number 7, reduce your monthly expenses. Well, I just gave you one big one, and that was to get rid of that storage shed. You know, some people have 2 or 3 storage sheds, 2 or 3. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of stuff too. And you could be making your money work better for you than being locked up in a storage unit that's really costing you. So you can reduce your monthly expenses by getting rid of things that subscriptions, by calling your insurance agent and asking, if my deductible is $1,000, what would my premium be if my deductible was $2,000? Because almost any loss you're going to have is going to be more than $1,000. Long time ago, we used to battle with a $500 deductible over $1,000. But ask your insurance agent how much the difference would be. Or if you have an older car like I have, and you got full coverage on it, and they don't tell you you don't really have to carry full coverage, then you might have $50 a month coming from that, a savings. Your phone plan, and not the plan to get a brand new phone necessarily, but are you with the right company? Are you with the right plan? Are you on the right plan? Are you asking for the senior citizen discount on your phone? That'll save you $5 right there. Are you dining out a lot and enjoying it less and getting less service, less quality service? Are you going to a concert and you're paying $100 for the ticket and your outfit is a $200, then the dinner before or the dinner after, just what can you cut out? What can you take out so that you can get out? What can you take out of your life right now as an expense that will help you get out of debt? So that was number 7. We got 3 more. And if you found a way to save $5 a day, put got my 5. Number 8, negotiate with creditors. The creditors want every penny they can get from you. And rightfully so, if you made the debt, you owe it. But you could start by saying, I know I'm paying 28%. But I started paying 28% when my credit score was 600. My credit score is 750 now, or 725, or 720. Can you lower my interest rate? Nothing wrong with asking. All right. Pastor Jamal says he's got his 5. And Gloria Moore said her husband had 2 storage sheds that were over $300 a month. She said, I quickly got rid of them because I couldn't afford it. Wow. Wow. So you can ask your creditor to lower your interest rate. That could help. Adjust your payments. If you're constantly paying late on the 15th, if they could change it to the 20th, would that help you? Would they help you? Would they do that? You'll never know if you don't ask. And if you are a good client with a bank, or you have a good relationship with business relationship, sometimes they'll waive certain fees for you. And if you got your account messed up and overdraft and it's a $35 fee, if they waive that, that's like saving $5 a day for a week, right? And so if you're struggling, it's often worth contacting, not running away, not hiding, but contacting the person that you owe or the lender that you owe and see if you could work out something beforehand, before your debt gets behind. Number 9, celebrate your progress. Every debt day is a victory lap for you. Every debt paid off is a victory lap for you. Celebrate every milestone. None is too small. Celebrate the milestone in an inexpensive way. All right? Don't go out and blow the money after you paid the money off, especially after you saved so hard to get the money to pay it off. You might make a special meal. Your family may go out to eat, but maybe not at a real expensive restaurant. Take a day trip. Get in a car, take a day trip. Have a movie night at home. Have a family meeting to tell everybody how you got out of debt and encourage them to help you. Help us. Here's our family goals. It's written down. And remember, I started off, the first question was, what's your plan? Show me your plan. And you would feel really good if you went to the table or you were celebrating your progress and you said to your wife or your husband or to your children, guess what? Guess what? We made some progress. And they're going to be excited. What did you do? And then you tell them, we paid the car off. We actually paid the car off. We no longer have that car payment. Then, even though the children weren't paying the payment, or the young people weren't paying the payment, at least you're letting them know that you made some progress and that you're proud of it. Number 10, wealth building, build wealth after debt. So when you get the extra $5, when you build that emergency fund, as much as I would love for you to buy a piece of real estate, as important as it would be to you creating wealth to have passive income, you got to do stuff in order. Get that emergency fund. Get a few months of expenses in an account. And then don't pay off all the debt and be broke and have to go back to your emergency fund. So it's so very important that you have a written plan. And once your debt is under control, save consistently, look at long-term investments, continue living below your means, and the goal is not to just become debt free, but the goal is becoming wealthy to the point where you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You want to be the 1 out of 4. And you think about it. If you're in a room of people and you count off 1 through 4, and only 1 out of 4 people have a written plan, then that's sad. That's why so many people are not where they want to be in life. And so, last little tip, make sure that you write your goals out, that you review them, that you have a plan of action to a strategy. And when you buy, because you can't just stop buying while you're saving, but do some comparison shopping. Plan in advance for a major purchase. Pay your bills on time. Maintain that emergency fund. Invest regularly in you because you are your biggest asset. Continue learning. You can never know enough. Never. There's some people, and I think about a particular person, how much money do you really want? How much can you really spend? But when you have a plan and you're trying to get out of debt, and I'm in $10,000 worth of debt, I'm in $25,000 worth of debt, you could wish for $1 million, but $1 million would be, while that would be really great, you would feel really good if you're in $50,000 worth of debt and you got $50,000 to get yourself out of debt, right? So don't wait for perfect conditions. And last, I'm going to end with warning signs that you're losing the battle. We talked about how do you win the battle over debt. We said you get yourself a good plan, you stick to it, you stop overspending. But if you see these signs and you recognize them, when you can only make the minimum payment on a credit card, it's a slow death to the poorhouse. You're in too deep. When you're frequently using the credit card to cover everyday expenses, you're losing the battle on debt. When you're missing payment due dates, you're in too deep. When you're borrowing from one account to pay another, as we call it, robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're in too deep. When you're avoiding opening a bill because you know you can't pay it, it's a sign that you're losing the battle. When you have no emergency savings, you're in too deep. And lastly, if you're feeling stressed or squeezed or anxious about money every single month, you got a fight ahead of you. You can't quit. Quitters don't win. You got to keep going, but you got to have a plan. You got a plan? Let me see your plan. Not that I don't believe you, but let me see your plan. And if I could see your plan, I could help you see your way out. All right? So next week, we're going to talk about a 30-day debt challenge, a 30-day debt challenge. So I hope that the information that you got tonight will help you along your way. And Gloria Moore says, absolutely, we would waive some of those fees. Get to know your banker. That's very important. Relationships. I went, and this is the last one because we're at 45 minutes. I was having trouble with the door locks on my car, and it is 26 years old. I'm driving a 1999 Lexus SUV. So I was having trouble with one door, and then I started having trouble with the window on the same side. So I went, and he looked up, and he said, that would cost you $2,000, Miss Johnson, because each side, you got to do this, that, or the other. He said, you know what? We can order a part from, he didn't say Amazon, it was someplace else. He said, and that part's going to be like $278, and we'll charge you $75 to put it on. I said, it's going to fix my problem? He said, yeah. He said, your husband was such a good person. So I walked out paying $300 and change for something that they could have very well charged me $2,000 for. And so that's a blessing. Relationships. I know a couple of those mechanics' names because we've used them for 25 years, but they could have taken advantage of the situation because I wouldn't have known. I would have known that I wasn't going to put another $2,000 in that car because I'm thinking about buying another one. But relationships do matter. So you got a relationship with your lender. You got a relationship with your banker. Try to get some things reduced. Try to get some better interest rates while you work on paying off debt. All right? So have a good night. Have a good life. In fact, play all out. Have $1 million life. Good night.